Get in the boat.
Captain Granville, are you all right?
Now, Grandpa?
Get in.
Captain Granville, are you all right?
Grandpa!
Abrams?
Grandpa, are you okay? Ann! What happened?
Come on! Come and give me a hand!
Grandpa? Grandpa!
Can you put your arms?
Grandpa! Grandpa!
He's okay,
Grandpa!
CT.
Get some bedding?
Yes. Take it up to the dry land, Rich.
Okay. You gonna be all right? What happened?
What's the leg?
Ann! Ann, what happened to him? Will he be all right, Ann? Grandpa,
What happened to him?
He's gotten too cold.
is it hypothermia?
It looks like it.
There, is he gonna be all right?
Get him down easy.
We'll take care of him. You get Sally Ruth and go back to the Mimi. Get the storm jib for shelter and more blankets. Go on now. We'll take care of him.
Get the oxygen extra line, too.
Spread that out, Rachel. Can you spread that stuff out? We can put him on. We gotta get this stuff off.
It's a tarp.
Get his boots up. Can you help me? Get him up, and then we can get that off. We better hurry. Keep him covered. Well, we got all his wet clothes off. That'll help.
How does it look?
Bad. Start making shelter. You go with her.
Does he have what Rachel says?
Hypothermia? Looks like he does.
What's that?
Means his body temperature is too low. You have to get it back up.
He's not shivering anymore. Is that a good sign?
No, it means he's too cold to shiver.
Grandpa! Grandpa, you gonna be okay? Grandpa.
How can we get him warm?
Body heat. We've got to get inside the blankets with him.
I'll do it.
No, Ramon, you and Arthur are bigger. You do it.
Huh?
Let's go, you guys.
Can I?
Come on, Arthur. We have to sandwich him between us both and get his body temperature back up.
Okay. Lie down in front of him.
Okay, just wrap around him. Okay, hold him, wrap around him.
I could build a fire.
Right, good. We'll dry his clothes off.
Okay, hold him.
Okay. He's cold.
He's gonna keep getting colder, too, on the inside. Get close to him.
Will he be all right?
If he doesn't get too much colder.
What happens then?
Just locked up with the cannon.
I'll get some birch bark. Everything's soaked. Go for the dead branches at the bottom of the tree. They stay dry in the rain.
CT, what are you doing that for?
This makes it burn better.
How are we gonna get a fire started in the rain?
Birch bark burns, even when it's wet, Rachel. Watch.
CT.
Ah, careful, Arthur, with my hand.
Sorry.
Ramon, let me see your hand. Oh, that's a bad rope burn.
I held onto his lifeline when he fell overboard.
We gotta get that cleaned up.
He moved.
Captain Granville?
Grandpa?
Here, let's put this under his head.
Grandpa?
CT.
Okay?
Cold. Everybody okay? The boat?
Everything's fine. How do you feel? Okay, we can move him to the shelter now.
Boy, when the tide goes out around here, it really goes out.
Uh-oh. Hey, you guys, come here.
What is it?
Check this out. Opened up a seam.
That's where the water came in.
If we don't get this fixed before the tide rises, this boat's not going to be rising with it. I better go get the caulking stuff.
I told Arthur to try and raise somebody on the radio.
There's gotta be something on the other side of those woods. How's your hand?
Okay. I'll take CT, see if we can find a house or something.
Good. I'll stay with the captain.
On the way back, we just head a course due east. 180 degrees in the opposite direction we've been going. That'll put us right back in camp. What are you doing?
Blazing a trail for the trip back.
Good idea. I'll back up for the compass, huh? In case my reading's a little off.
Yep.
You know what you're doing.
My dad taught me.
What?
My dad taught me.
You almost done?
Yeah.
That's good, because the tide is coming in.
Lots of people go swimming in the summer. We weren't swimming. We didn't get hypothermia.
Well, after your grandpa fell in the water, he never got dry. His clothes were soaked, and the wind made him even colder. He was exhausted. His body couldn't take it. He went into shock. His heartbeat slowed way down. Finally, he passed out.
How low did his temperature go?
85, 90 degrees.
He could have died.
If his temperature went too much lower, yes, he would have.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is the sailing vessel Mimi calling the Coast Guard. Can you read me? Please come in. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is the Mimi. Does anybody read me? This is the sailing vessel Mimi calling the Coast Guard. Can you read me? Please come in. Ah, it's no use. Come on, you stupid radio.
Hey, how's it going?
Dead, dead, dead.
So come up and help us.
Wait a minute, hold on. I gotta take this radio back and see if I can fix it.
Oh, come on. You can't climb with that hand.
Okay, but be careful. Be careful now. Look for anything. A road, a church steeple.
Second.
See anything?
We're on an island.
An
island? There's no roads? There's no houses? You guys didn't find anything?
Can't even see the mainland.
How are we gonna get out of here? The ship's radios are shot. There's no way we can get help. And the captain is sick.
The boat is in no shape to sail, and we haven't got enough food.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna take things one at a time, just like we've been doing. Now, the captain is going to be fine. And we have food, and we have shelter, and we're out of danger. Now, Arthur, tell me about the radio. Can you fix it?
I don't know. I can try.
Don't worry. It's gonna be okay.
You think Eric will mind if I borrowed some pots from his receiver?
Under the circumstances, I think he'd forgive you.
How's the captain doing?
Much better. We dried everything out by the fire. All he needs now is a little rest.
Hey, the whale tag receiver. It's working.
I can't believe it. The whale.
It's picking up the signal from our whale.
Yeah, whales right out there somewhere.
Yep, right near us.
Yeah, but where's that? We don't even know where we are.
I'm Ben Affleck, and I'm in the Arctic Test Chamber for the United States Army Research Institute of Environmental Medicine in Natick, Massachusetts. This is the place where some of the writers from Voyage of the Mimi came to learn about things like hypothermia. The people here study how humans react in different kinds of environments, like cold. I visited Dr. Murray Hamlet. He's the chief of the cold division.
It hits the ground and
When Dr. Hamlet told me he was taking me into the Arctic wind tunnel, I was a little worried. But he said it was a good way to learn about how our bodies regulate heat.
temperature.
First, he had to wire me up with little temperature measuring devices called thermistors.
And, we'll measure your skin temperature as we go into the chamber, and I'll show you how your skin temperature changes associated with your cold exposure.
But I thought your temperature was always 98.6.
Well, it is over the central part of your body, the torso, your core of your body. But over the periphery, the arms and legs, the temperature will vary quite significantly depending on how you're exposed. The way your system works is that you produce heat the muscles and organs in your body burning glucose and oxygen.
You mean food?
Yes, food that you eat is converted to glucose, sugar, and it goes to the cells along with oxygen, and it's burned, and it's the same kind of chemical process that involved in any burning process. And that heat is moved around your system by warming the blood, and the warm blood moves out, and that's the way you move heat. From the core, where it's warm, out to the radiating surfaces in your skin. Now, if you were to go and exercise, go outside or go someplace and exercise, your muscles in your legs and your arms would produce a lot of heat. That heat warms up the blood, and the blood going back to your brain, there's a mechanism in your brain, a little center in your brain that controls your body temperature very precisely. And what happens is that sends a message from your brain down your arm and out to all the way out to your skin and all the way out to your fingers and all the way out to your toes, that it wants to get rid of your body heat. So what it does is it opens up the blood vessels in your skin. It opens your radiators so that the heat now flows in the blood out here to the skin. Your skin warms up and you radiate that heat away from your body. And as you do that, your core temperature goes down. When we go in the cold, just the opposite thing occurs.
It sends a message and tells it to keep the heat in?
They hold the heat in. So it does that by shutting off the radiators. The message, the skin, there's nerves in the skin that send a message to your brain, to the center again, that says it's cold out here. And that message then goes back down and shuts off the blood vessels in your skin, which conserves the heat here in the core of your body.
So it's a perfect... When we checked the 3 thermistors, we found the temperatures were not all the same. The one on my finger showed only 88 degrees. The one on my arm was a little warmer at 89 degrees, and the one on my chest was 92 degrees. Dr. Hammett explained that your temperature is lower the further from the core you measure it. Even the one on my chest was lower than 98.6 degrees because it was out on the skin.
Let's get you ready and take you in the Arctic chamber.
Oh, wait a minute. The Arctic chamber? How cold is it going to get in there?
Well, it's about 30 degrees right now, but it's getting colder all the time. So we better get started.
Oh. This place is like a giant refrigerator.
Yeah, it is a refrigerator, Ben. It's can go down to -70, and it's also a wind tunnel. We can crank the wind up real fast in here too. Why don't you sit down here and we'll go through this quickly.
Cold. Sit here?
Yeah, sit down right there. Let me get my jacket on here so that I don't
Okay.
freeze. It is getting a little brisk. It's getting colder all the time too. What's going to happen is that your hand temperature and your arms are going to decrease in temperature because your body is conserving its core heat. That is, it's shutting off blood flow to your extremities to maintain function in your core.
So, but my core temperature will stay the same?
Core temperature will stay the same. I have another thermistor here. We can measure your core temperature. Now, it's not going to be 98.6 because there is some cooling occurring in your neck, but it is fairly close. Nice, huh? All right, number 2.
This one, right?
The one on your fingertip. It's down to 63 degrees. So that's really dropped a long way. If we look at number 3, that's a little warmer. That's this one, remember? That's about 75 or 6 degrees. Okay? Number 4, the one that's on your chest, is about 90 degrees. All right? If we look at number 5, the one in your mouth, the oral one, that's going to be about 97 or 98 degrees. So your core temperature is being maintained at the expense of your extremities. If you look at the goosebumps on your arm, here, we can take this out. You don't need to do this anymore. If you look at the goosebumps on your arm, that's from when man used to have hair on his body. It raises the hair.
You mean a lot of hair?
A lot of hair.
Monkey.
Like a monkey. Raises the hair up very straight and makes a better insulator. But you don't have many hair anymore, so that's just kind of worthless. Now, you're shivering,
Yeah.
and shivering's a form of involuntary exercise that produces heat. And that heat is what's going to warm you up. But the only way it's going to warm you up right now, because it's so cold in here, is if we put a jacket on you to help insulate you a little bit more. Okay? Let me get an army parka here. All right, now, what do you think's happening now?
The coat's keeping me warm.
Sure, the coat's keeping you warm because you're producing the heat but the insulation is holding that heat, that still warm air layer next to your body. Let's put the hat on you here. You lose a lot of heat through your head. Grandmother used to tell me you put your hat on, your feet and hands will be warmer, and that's exactly right. Now, we can only stay in here a short time because we just don't have enough clothes on, either of us, to stay in here very long. But what I want to show you is the effect of wind. Let's get the wind cranked up in the chamber. Susan, how cold is it in here?
A little less than 20.
All right, crank the wind up to 10 miles an hour, please.
Okay.
Look at the anemometer. See how fast it's going now?
I can hear it.
You can hear it, right? Here it comes, like a train. Whew. The temperature is the same, but what's happening is this still warm air layer that's around your body that was there is now being blown away, so you're having to produce more heat to get yourself warm. If you think this is bad, however, well, let's take your hat off and show you this. Look at this. See how much faster your face cools?
Yes.
Now put your hand out in the breeze.
Okay.
Put your hand up. See how fast your fingers cool? That is really bad. Let's look back here and see how cold it's getting. 45 degrees. 45 and cooling. No, I won't let you freeze. We won't get that cold. But it's really cooling in a hurry. Put your hand inside now. There you go. Let me put this back on you. If you think that's cold, however, got it?
Yeah.
Water will cool you 26 times faster than air of the same temperature. So when you get into cold water, you'll cool very, very fast. And that's why people who fall in the water end up hypothermic, because they lose so much heat to the water that they can't possibly replace it no matter how hard they shiver or how hard they try to swim or work in the water.
So is my core temperature still the same?
It is right now, but it's going to start dropping fairly fast, and mine is too, so we better get out of here.
Okay.
Let's go. Get your core, get your wires, and get your machine, and let's get out of here.
Finding ways to protect people who fall into the water is another job of the Natick Lab.
Who is that?
Got me in a very nice time because I'm getting ready to do another research experiment with Captain Nemo here.
I spent part of the afternoon with Dr. Richard Gonzalez. He's a thermophysicist who is helping to design life-saving emergency clothing. This time, I didn't have to be the guinea pig. They put the suits on a copper man they call Captain Nemo. He has heating elements inside him to heat him up like a human body. And on his copper skin are thermistors like the ones that Dr. Hamlet put on me. They're connected to a computer that can draw a graph of Captain Nemo's skin temperature.
For temperature, Ben?
The water in the pool is 68 degrees. Not very cold, but water takes heat away so fast, it's plenty cold enough to give someone hypothermia, someone who's unprotected. Bye, Nemo. We dunked Captain Nemo for 15 minutes to see how much he would cool. We then compared that test to one where Captain Nemo didn't have anything on at all.
He looks cold already.
Okay, Ben.
On the graphs, the time goes from left to right, and the temperature is up and down.
The nude guy, after just 10 minutes, was the same temperature as the water was, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And the guy with the suit on, after 10 minutes, was only 89 degrees Fahrenheit. So you'd be a lot better off in a suit.
That's right. What about
If Captain Granville had had a suit like that on, he never would have gotten hypothermia.
Captain Nemo doesn't have any clothes on, but what would happen if he had normal clothes? What would his temperatures be?
Well, Ben, the clothes that you and I are wearing, they don't offer that much protection. As you can see, the survival suit here both keeps the heat within the skin and it doesn't allow the water to get to the skin. When we have regular clothing, it gets so wet that it happens is that the skin temperature and the water temperature are almost the same as you have in the nude.
After I left Captain Nemo, Dr. Hamlet showed me some friends who didn't seem to worry about hypothermia, even in 40-degree water.
If water cools your skin 26 times more than air does.
They should be frozen to death.
Well, sure, they would if they didn't have the feathers. The feathers provide insulation from the water, but to keep the feathers from getting wet, they have oil in them. They have a gland over their tail. They get the oil on their beak and they run it through their feathers. It keeps the feathers dry. So they're never really wet. The wet water never touches their skin except on their feet.
Is this a down feather?
Yeah, this is a goose feather. The down, the feathers on the goose or duck protect him. They lay like shingles on a roof to trap air underneath them to keep him from getting cold.
Some whales live in Arctic waters, and it's a lot colder than this, but they survive.
Sure, they have tremendous thickness of blubber, fat over their body, over their organs, and this blubber is a good insulator. Plus, he's a very, very large animal, and a very large mass with a small surface area cools slower than something with a large surface area and a small mass. You have a lot of surface area to your body in relation to your mass, to how much you, roughly how much you weigh. And that's why when you go in the water with all this surface area, you cool very fast, whereas the whale is essentially just a round ball, very, very round, and he would cool very slowly in the water. But the
well, it's nice to learn about how my body is constantly working to maintain my core temperature. But at the end of this day, I look forward to one thing: getting warm again.
Bye!